Hello, everyone at Penagar. Thanks very much for the questions. I've got them all written down here, so I will try and get through as many as I can. So, what was Penagar like when I was there? I have very fond memories, so great memories for me. I remember playing lots of different sports when I was there. Just loved my time there. I had lots of friends there, and yeah, nothing but good memories for me of my time there, really. My favourite subject there was maths. I used to love doing maths, used to love doing science as well. English was the one I used to struggle with the most. So the thing I found most nerve-wracking was standing in front of the class trying to read out something aloud. I used to read a little bit like this, and I used to be really nervous, and I used to struggle. And yeah, totally over that now, but that was the hardest thing for me when I was at school. I used to enjoy most of the other subjects, but yeah, English was definitely the most difficult one. Who is my sporting hero? So growing up, my role model was a guy called Ryan Giggs. He used to play football for Man United. He was like Gareth Bale. So he's a Welsh footballer. He was very good when I was growing up. He played on the left wing, and I wanted to be a footballer as well. So I taught myself to use my left foot to be more like him. And then eventually, when I got into athletics, I found that because I taught myself to kick a football with my left leg and my right leg, it then meant that I could hurdle on both legs, which is a skill not many people have. Okay, if you were not an athlete, then what would you have been? I would have done something involved in sport, whether it's competing as an athlete or maybe being a coach of some sort. It definitely would have been something to do with sport. So a sportsman of some sort, for sure. What is my favourite sport? Favourite sport is obviously athletics, and then football probably is a close second. What are your memories of Penagar? Like I said earlier, great memories there. I remember I played lots of different sports, and we had a really good sports team. We got to the final of the football, final of the cricket. I remember playing rugby sevens and all sorts of things. So yeah, just about getting exposure to lots of different sports and just generally having a good time there, I think. Who inspired you to be an athlete? That's a good question. I don't know if anyone as such inspired me. There was a couple of athletes that I looked up to when I started, but it wasn't until probably when I went to university, so at the age of 18, that I started to train more than once a week for the sport of athletics. And then I would say that my training partners were probably my biggest motivation. They were a little bit better than me when I started out, and they helped to sort of improve the sort of atmosphere of training. They would cheer us on, and I would try to improve myself to get as good as them and hopefully one day beat them. So that were probably the people I looked up to and inspired me at that time. What is the best, worst thing about being a professional athlete? The best thing is that I get paid to run around an athletics track, and I've been paid to do that for the last 20 years. I train 6 days a week, and I absolutely love it. Doesn't feel like hard work. It's a joy to do it every day, absolutely. But the downside is that with all that training, you're going to get a few injuries and a few problems. So whenever I've been injured, that's been the hardest thing to deal with. What is my favourite football player? So my favourite football player growing up was Ryan Giggs. At the moment, do I have a favourite footballer? My favourite team is Man United. I'm a big fan of Kobe Mainoo at the moment, so he's doing great. But yeah, I'll stick with Mainoo and maybe Martinez at centre back because he's tough as nails, and the team is much better with him in it. Okay, who was your favourite teacher at Penagar? I can't remember all of my teachers' names, sadly. But I know I had a good time there, and there's none of them that spring out as bad teachers, if that makes sense. I had a good time every year, and I can remember being in each of the different classrooms. I'm sure it's changed a bit now, but I had a good time there. How many medals have you won, and which one is the most special? So there's 4 big competitions in the athletics world. There's the Olympics, there's the World Champs, Commonwealth Games, and Europeans. I've won the Euros, I've won the Commonwealth Games, I've won the World Champs. The only one I haven't won is the Olympics. But being world champion is still pretty cool. So this is my World Champs gold medal. This honestly just lives in my sock drawer. It does not come out very often. But yeah, this is it. So this is my World Champs gold medal, and on it says men's 400 meter hurdles, world champion, my winning time, my name and nationality, and it's very heavy. It looks like one of those chocolate coins you get at Christmas, but I can guarantee it's the real deal. It's very heavy. I'm very proud of this. To be crowned the best in the world or something is a pretty crazy experience. So yeah, all that hard work, all the training, all the sacrifices that go into trying to be the best athlete you can be, training 6 days a week, it's all 100% worth it for winning a medal like that. So that answers that one. If you could go back in time to any point in your life, when would it be? I don't know. I'd probably love to go back to being a kid again because I enjoyed it so much. I have such good memories of being at primary school and at secondary school, so I'd have to say primary school. Probably year 2 or year 3, something like that, when I started to play sport for the first time. How do you manage your epilepsy when you're competing? So the things that set off my epilepsy, and everybody's different, but with my epilepsy, it tends to be lack of sleep, so irregular sleep patterns, having to get up in the middle of the night or early mornings, mixed with like some late night partying. But as a professional athlete, the things I need to do is I need to go to bed at the right time. I need to make sure I sleep plenty and then I'm not partying. So it's easy being an athlete, having epilepsy, because that lifestyle is the lifestyle I need to live. So I was quite fortunate that I managed to find a sport or find something to do, a career that helps my epilepsy. So yeah, very lucky on that side of things. Who helped you the most on your Olympic journey? I think I'd have to say different coaches. I've had so many different coaches and different training partners that I see them 5-6 days a week, and they're sort of like, they're like father figures. They're like your teachers sort of thing. They have so much support and influence over what you do day to day, and they try to get the best out of you. And even when it's not going so well, they'll help support you and lift you up, and they'll be there for the good times, the bad times. So yeah, 100% my coaches, I think, is the best thing to say there. Why did I choose athletics over football? It's a simple one. I was probably just as talented at football, but I wasn't enjoying it. At the age of 16, I was playing for Swansea City, got offered a contract, but turned it down because I just wasn't enjoying it. The coach used to shout at us loads and it made me sad. And then it wasn't until a couple of years later that I found athletics. And then once I found people who trained every day, because there weren't many people internationally that trained for athletics. Once I found people that trained every day, everything just grew really, really quickly from there, and I started to improve very quickly. And 100%, it was an easy decision to make then to not try and get back into football. What was your colour, team and sports day, and did they always win? I can't remember. I feel like I might have been yellow, if there's a yellow colour. That vaguely rings a bell. It was a long time ago. And I wasn't always the fastest kid at the school, and my team didn't always win. So I think throughout my time at school and secondary school, I was sometimes the fastest, sometimes not the fastest. Very close, but never always the fastest. You know what I mean? There was sometimes when I wasn't quite the best. Where is your favourite place you have competed? Okay, that's a good question. I guess in terms of crowds, I went to the London Olympics. This is the kit we got from the London Olympics. You can see it says Team GB London 2012 on it. And when I raced here at the Olympics, there was like a 60, 70,000 seater stadium, something like that. But most of the people were British. So the crowd were going wild. They were cheering on, going nuts. And that, as a British athlete, that was incredible to hear that much of an atmosphere. But then around the world, I've competed in Australia, South Africa, Monaco is amazing, and probably Paris, where the Olympics are this year. I've raced there, and Belgium. Those are the best places that I've been to in terms of great stadiums. Okay. What else have we got here? Were you good at hurdling when you first tried? What a great question. I was good, I wasn't great. I was quite scared of the hurdles. So I imagine that we didn't have hurdles at Pennegar when I was there. I don't know if you guys do now, but we have to have 2 chairs back to back. So the chairs that you guys sit on with a stick across it. That's how our teacher did it for us. And I remember it clear as day, and I was super nervous about going over it. I was thinking, what if I hit the hurdle? Is it going to hurt? Am I going to fall? But I found the more I did it, the more confident I became. And I was very good in secondary school for somebody that didn't practice it much. But like I said, my footballing ability helped my hurdling. So my message to you guys is, I'm sure there's plenty of people there who like to play football, or one sport in particular. But I would say try the different sports, because it'll help you later on when you end up specialising in just the one. Who's my favourite athlete? Ooh, tough question. I think Jessica Ennis-Hill is an amazing athlete. She was at London 2012 with me as a teammate. Very inspiring individual. So I'll say her, and you can look her up because she's a great role model to look up to. What is an athlete's diet like? Ooh, good question. So this is an easy one. If I eat lots of bad food, lots of fast food, lots of junk food, lots of chocolate, crisps, sweets, all that stuff, then I'm going to train bad. That's the long and short of it, okay? If I cook the food myself, so I prepare the meal and like homemade stuff, not ready meals, not takeaways. So if I prepare the food myself, it's usually better standard, better quality. There's not so many bad ingredients, and then I get more out of myself in training, and then I get more out of myself when it comes to racing. So you very much are what you eat as an athlete. But I would say I have to eat a lot of food because I'm training so much. If I'm training 3 hours a day, can you imagine all the energy I'm burning? I'm like shoveling the food in. So I'm eating a lot of it, but it's all very healthy stuff. I didn't eat many salads, surprisingly, because there's not much energy in salad. And because I'm burning off so much energy, I need to be eating plenty of chickens, lots of mince and sort of fish and vegetables. Vegetables, super important because you don't want to get ill and run down. And lots of fruit as well. What would you be doing if you weren't an athlete? I think we had something like that earlier. Pretty much just working in sport in some way, I think. I was always destined to be involved in sport. What do you miss about athletics? What do I miss about athletics? It's 100% competing. I love training. Don't get me wrong, I love training. That's great fun. But the biggest thing for me was always being on the start line in a massive stadium, competing against other people with big crowds, TV cameras and all the rest of it. That was my favorite thing for sure. So that's what I'm going to miss the most. But at the moment, I've started to do some coaching. So I'm hoping that one day I'll have athletes in the future who are competing in these big stadiums, winning their own medals. And the last question I've got on the list here, if I was to compete at the Winter Olympics, what sport would I do? That is a tough one. I would have to probably do something with the speed skating. Have you seen the speed skating when they're on the ice and they're racing and they do a couple of laps? It would probably be that. Maybe not the shortest distance, maybe like a longer distance. So I don't know if they do like a 400 or 800 or something on ice. I think that would be the one for me. Yeah, I don't think they jump hurdles on the ice, do they? That would be crazy if they did. That would be quite funny. I'd definitely watch it if they did. But yeah, I think that's the event I would do. That's the end of the questions. Thank you very much for your questions. I hope you've enjoyed researching me and learning more about me. And yeah, I hope you do watch some of the Olympics in a few weeks as well. So thanks very much for your questions and take care, guys. See you later.